My name is Ayla, and I'm a Children's Miracle Network champion.
We walked into Children's Hospital Denver, and it was no other word than amazing. From our very first appointment, we just knew we were in the right place.
Some of the early symptoms that I've noticed with Ayla were bruising. She was 3 years old. She was playing, and this little boy accidentally kicked her. When I brought her home that day, she had the biggest, darkest, deep black bruise. And I thought, well, that's a little strange. So we brought her to the doctor that afternoon, and they took blood tests, and that was when we found out she had ITP.
The Charnesses actually came to Children's Hospital looking for a hematologist to follow their daughter who had ITP diagnosed in California. And my first impression was that this is a very loving, caring family and that they have actually learned a lot about their daughter's disorder. And they're looking for a partnership between the family, the patient, and the doctor. My first impression of Ayla was a very charming girl. She wasn't afraid of her disorder. She actually kind of made it sound like it was a nuisance rather than something that she's suffering from.
I have a rare blood disorder called ITP, which stands for idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, which means that if I fall or get hurt, I can bleed real easily. I don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm just going to have a bloody nose that won't stop for a long time. I don't know.
Most challenging day since Ayla was diagnosed would have been about 9 months after her diagnosis. We were at a restaurant with some friends, and she was 4 at that point, and she said, "Daddy, I don't feel real good." She was having a bunch of bloody noses, but they were only lasting about 10 to 15 minutes, so we weren't really too concerned. What we didn't realize is that she'd been bleeding on the inside, and her eyes rolled the back of her head, and she went lifeless in my arms. And she came to probably about 20 seconds later, and she threw up blood everywhere. And for the first time, I didn't know if she was dying or not. That day, we learned the real dangers of ITP. It's a day that I'll never forget. The danger of her condition is bleeding out. If she has low platelets and she bleeds, nothing will stop her bleeding, and that's what causes death or any other real serious major problems.
So every month or every 5-6 weeks, we actually give her intravenous gamma globulin replacement therapy. It is a blood product, and you actually just infuse it through the IV. And she actually stays here for about 6 hours to get that infusion.
So for the last couple of years, her platelets have been fairly stable. The last couple months, all of a sudden, now her platelets are going down and up, and she's bleeding again. This is what we deal with. This is our new normal. Right now, Ayla, being 9.5 years old, is extremely aware. She knows that her parents and her doctor is there to guide her. She knows how her body feels and what goes on and what could happen, and she's very strong.
When I see a kid who's scared at the hospital, I tell them, it might be scary, but you don't have to be scared. Everything will be all right. This hospital will help you get through this and won't let anything happen to you.
The precautions that we have to take with Ayla are mainly her helmet at school. When she's in PE or she's at recess, we have a 2 feet on the ground rule at all times. No monkey bars, that type of thing. Otherwise, it's a pretty normal childhood for her.
My family is really, really great. They help me with everything. They help me get through this. And even though this is hard, we still have fun with everything.
I know for me, the most positive thing that's come is perspective. The small things don't really matter. The only time I'm gonna hit a really hard spot is the first night I don't have one of my girls to put to bed. As long as I have them here, we'll deal with anything that comes up. And I'm not sure you can gain that level of perspective without going through what we have. Ayla's a champion quite simply because of the resilience that she showed, not only getting through it on her own, but helping other kids get through it. She gets it about the support the Children's Hospital needs and why it's so important to support them.
The special relationship we've had with Children's Hospital is amazing. They've treated us like family.
We are so grateful to Children's Hospital. They have given us the support. They have been there. We knew that we weren't in it alone. More importantly, Ayla knew that she wasn't in it alone.